welcome to the Law of Positivism podcast. I'm your host, Shireen, and I'm the creator of Law of Positivism. I'm here to help you on your spiritual and healing journey. I am a certified yoga and meditation teacher, a student of Chinese medicine, a doula, a Reiki practitioner, and a passionate, highly sensitive person. I want to use my knowledge to channel information and messages for you to grow on all levels. Welcome to this week's episode. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for your presence and your beautiful feedback and just energy that I'm receiving from all of you who are listening. It's so beautiful to connect with everyone from different parts of the world, and I've just came out of a month of a beautiful yoga teacher training. It's my second training. I did my very first one in Hatha Yoga back in 2017 and been teaching since then. And now I decided to go into the more traditional Hatha Yoga training, which is based on the Shivananda Hatha Yoga. And it's a beautiful lineage. We've been practicing a lot of both physical yoga, which we can see like when we're practicing the physical asanas, the breath work, but also a lot of Vedanta, which is the path of knowledge, a lot of bhakti, which is the path of devotion through singing and chanting. It's been such a beautiful and transformative month for me, and I felt very excited and inspired to share an online Hatha Yoga course for beginners, but it's also beautiful if you've been practicing for a while and want to get in deeper and learning about these basics of the traditional Hatha Yoga, which has been taught in India for so long. This structure of teaching that I've learned now is so beautiful, and we tap into these 5 points of yoga that has been created within this lineage, and it's the physical practice, the breath work, the relaxation, but also the knowledge, the meditation, the positive thinking, and the yogic lifestyle. And I will start a 4-week online beginners course starting next Monday, May 10th, and it will be the last session May 31st. So it's once a week, 4 Mondays now in May, and it's going to be a 90-minute class. And Central Europe time, it will be at 6 p.m. UK time, that's 5. New York time, it's 12 p.m. and LA time, 9 a.m. And it's going to be a beautiful class to do online for everyone who wants to dive deeper into their practice. And you can read more about it on my website, lawofpositivism.com, and sign up there. And if you do have any questions, let me know. And yeah, it's a beautiful tradition of just a synchronized, holistic yogic practice that will not just help the physical body, the energetic body, but also the mind, the emotional body, everything. So you're so welcome if you are feeling aligned with this. And this week's podcast is all about your true purpose. I had a beautiful talk with Dan Lange from Australia. He's a well-respected Australian and international chef, health, wellness, and sustainability coach, running workshops, retreats, and meditation circles in Byron Bay, Australia. He's passionate about empowering people to align to their truest potential. Through his program, Align to Your True Purpose, Dan works with people, spiritual, physical, and mental health, to get the core of your values and beliefs to create more flow and gratitude. And in this episode, we talk about how you realign to your true purpose, how to create more flow and synchronicity in your life. We get into the benefits of breath work, using food as healing, using wild plants as medicine, ancestral healing, and also self-love, which is the foundation of everything. So I'm really excited to share this episode. If you do enjoy it, please let me know. You can leave a review or rating or on iTunes. It really helps me to share this podcast with so many more people. A short note about my beautiful, beautiful podcast sponsors, Ace of Air. This is such a beautiful brand, and I'm so honored to be working with them. Ace of Air is a newly launched beauty and wellness brand committed to products that put people and planet above all. Their line of clean, vegan, and cruelty-free skincare and supplements have been synergistically formulated at the intersection of herbalist wisdom and modern science, focusing on rituals that work from the inside out. Inspired by Mother Nature's ability to create abundance without waste, Ace of Air is the first and only beauty and wellness brand designed to be entirely circular and fully zero waste. You can explore more and learn more about Ace of Air at aceofair.com and find them on Instagram, Ace of Air. And I really love this sponsor. I love the people behind it. I really encourage you to check them out, and I have also put their links in the show notes if you want to see how you can support this type of brand that is completely vegan, cruelty-free, and circular. And enjoy this week's podcast. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to the podcast.
Blessings. It's such a blessing to be part of it today.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to talk to you, and I'm wondering if you could share any daily mindfulness practice that you do and that is helping you on your path.
Amazing. Yes. Thank you. I live in Australia, in Byron Bay region, and every morning I have a meditation practice that I do of gratitude, and just sitting still in my bed and just being grateful for my body, being grateful for the work that I do, for the people in my life, my community, and just for everything that's surrounding us, nature, particularly nature. And then I walk outside barefoot with my dog usually, before the kids get up as well. And I just put my feet on the ground and I just look up at this big fig tree with just appreciation of its age and its energy that I feel, and the gratitude for all the stuff that it's been through in its life, and just the awareness that this tree that was once small had to go through so much to get this big and to be this powerful. And just that connection with nature really, really grounds me and gives me that peace, that inner peace to start the day and to share that with others.
That's beautiful. And nature is truly grounding and takes us back to the present moment. It reminds us and it gives us so much healing. And I just love to look at the plants and trees as well. They're such beautiful entities and spirits.
Yes, it's like a connection of energy, a frequency that you can be part of, that we can connect to plants and we can connect to the sun and we can connect to the earth and be part of that energy as well once we release and once we trust. And I feel like sometimes I'm out there when I'm talking to nature, or the wind will just suddenly shift a little bit differently, and I feel this shift in me as well. that feeling of that you are more than just this body as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I would love for you to introduce yourself to the listeners, who you are and what you do. And yeah, we can start from there.
Excellent. So I'm Dan from Be Nourished Byron Bay. That's BEE Nourished Byron Bay. And I run a wellness and health business with me and my partner, Zoe. So we do work with healing energy. My partner's a Reiki teacher. I'm also a Reiki level 2 teacher. I do work with health and life coaching. So I run a program called Realigning to Your True Purpose. And that's a big focus of mine, is working with people to really step into their intuition and to step into their role in life, whichever stage they're at, but working with them so they can really lift their spirits to achieve what they want to achieve in this lifetime, and to create that flow state, that synchronicities as well, so they start occurring for them. So it's more just creating those mindful practices day in, day out, and the things that maybe people are too busy chasing that they don't, or they might not be able to slow down. So working with breath work, working with meditation practices, working with the food that they're eating and nourishing themselves with daily, working with gratitude practices, even working with the language that they're talking about themselves as well. So it's a full cycle in that as well. We run health retreats and wellness retreats here in Byron Bay Shire and internationally, but at this stage just Byron. And we work with empowering individuals as well to create self-love for themselves, but also to work together with the feminine and the masculine energy to empower each other, because we really believe that we need both the yin and the yang, the combinations, to really work in this world, in this society. So empowering the, that we them empowering each other together.
It's beautiful, and
Yeah.
it's a great, like, holistic work that you do that has to do with the body, the mind, the breath, and this big topic of purpose, because a lot of questions that I get is actually around purpose, and what it is and how do you find it. Yeah, I don't know what is one's purpose in your mind, and how do we work with it?
That's amazing, because when you say that, my whole body is just excited, and just knowing that I am doing my purpose. And I guess for me, it's when the synchronicities start occurring, and when you start feeling in the flow state, when it's natural and you're doing stuff, but you're not only feeling happy, you notice that you're making other people happy as well. So you're creating like a change, a pattern of change, a pattern of growth as well. So when I see people, they come to me, and it's about their mindset. And I really feel that this starts at an early age, when we're children, and we get the habits that start, and we think, if we do this, we've done that wrong, we might not be good enough. And those habits and mindset that gets created carry through with us until until we're old, if we're not able to pick them up or change those. So I guess coming back to the purpose is breaking through that mindset, breaking through those barriers, and having someone there, like a coach, to actually see through that and to work with some of that trauma, because we all have some trauma somewhere. Some people are able to hide it and disguise it as well, and and other people it really shows. But I think when we're able to work with that and express through love and express through gratitude and express all our feelings, okay, that we might not always be feeling happy when we're doing our purpose. It might be hard at times as well, but we're consistent in the flow, that we're able to be in our heart space in your purpose, that you're able to live from your heart and breathe and feel and talk the work that you're doing. So when I talk about the work that I'm doing, it's my open heart, and I feel like it's like it's a path of service for me. So I really feel empowered to help others as well grow in their purpose. So I get people from CEOs, businesses, to small business minded people, to people that just want to make a change, or might be going through a hard time, that just want to change their mindset, I guess, and they want to look at things a different way. And it's like they're so close, but they just need a little bit of fine tuning, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I think that the purpose is something that we haven't, like, let's say, as children or young adults, we think that the purpose is to attain something that is outside of us, and that it can be shaped by a career or a degree, or the types of relationships, or even just like this image of, yeah, like working, creating a family, having a house, like that whole story that has been like so strong in our cultures, that
Yep.
is a purpose. And a lot, and then also the purpose is usually very something that we think of, like how it can benefit ourselves. So the purpose is usually something that is strengthening ourselves or our ego, usually, that, or that's what we think when we think about, okay, what is your goals in life, and what is we don't see it as like something where we directly, like, a purpose can be, I'm gonna live in abundance, or I'm gonna live in total surrender or service, like you said, like karma yoga, like how
Yep.
can I be in unselfish service that has no, it doesn't matter what fruits it gives me, or what how it benefits me, but it's service to the divine or to others, or also the divine in others and in ourselves. So it's a really interesting topic.
Yes.
And it's funny because I think, like, if you would go out in, like, in the mainstream and ask about people's purpose, I think a lot of people wouldn't have a direct answer at all, because there can be a purpose of beingness, but it can also be a purpose of creating, but it doesn't have to be connected with what we see in society. It can be, it's so deep, and it's so connected to our own karma and dharma in this life, what we're bringing in, and what we're here as a duty, but also as a purpose. So
Yep.
how do you work with that, with, let's say, if you are working with people who are not aware of first of all what one's purpose is,
Yes.
how would you, like, work with that?
I think that's a great question, and I think I would. In the past, I've worked with what are their values. So what's really important to them, in when you ask someone what their values are, they generally can't. If I said your top three, they couldn't tell me straight away. And if they can't tell me that, they might not be aware yet of what their purpose is, or whether they're living their purpose at this stage. But it's always going to be changing as we grow into different stages in our life as well. I guess when we get nearer to death, we want to make sure that we have served our time here as such on this planet, and that we have given back to people. I think you want to know that you've done a good job for your children, and that could be someone's purpose. As a mum, they could want to make sure that they're being there for their children, and that they are bringing them up in a good school, and with a good community around them. So I feel like it's up to it's a bit up to the individual when we're dealing with this, but also working with them. So once they've worked out their values, what do they really find that they're passionate about? Because passion and purpose really lead in quite good. So for me, I mean, I'm a chef by trade as well, but I don't like the normal restaurant side of things. I like to empower people to heal with food, because I think it's a really good resource as well. So I use the food as also as a tool for them to see how they're treating themselves, and put them through non-judgmental, but a diary to kind of see where they're up to, and what they're eating, and see what other things that they can put into their body as well. So what affirmations that we could use to create some change and shift them, so we can kind of work on those different levels and layers, creating a mindful practice, meditation. And even some people are starting with 5 minutes a day on Insight Timer, or small recorded ones that I'll send to them. I think that, again, everyone's going to have a different purpose on this planet, which is brilliant. Some people are to serve, some people are receiving. We're all aligned a little bit different. That's what I love about this human race. When we do tap into our purpose, it's like that quantum physics kind of, that you will know, because things start aligning. And I find it's really interesting if you start believing it in your mindset as well, and creating space for it, then following actions aligning to your values, then it literally just comes into your field. But if we're talking negatively about ourselves, and I'm not sure about things, or this is not right, or you got the self-talk happening as well, then it's likely that you're not going to achieve your goals or your purpose at that time.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's so many times that we don't think that we're deserving to do what we truly want and need, and that has to do with self-love and the way we
Yes.
treat ourselves, and also the act of like you talked about now, so when we're on a path, and also a spiritual path, or like trying to work deeper in life with ourselves and with others, there's this important component which you're working so much with, and which you talked about now, is how we're feeding our vehicle, which is our body, which also contains this energy, and how when the physical body is deficient or stagnant, it's also a sign of what's happening energetically, and also vice versa. So even if we're not treating our body good, we're also compromising our energy body. And I would love for you to know how you work with food as medicine and healing.
Yes. Well, from my training, some of it was in India in Ayurvedic training, and some of it's been working with certain chefs, and certain traveling around the world as well, learning from lots of different generations of nanas and pops around the world, in Italy and France and Germany and Morocco and everywhere. And I learnt a lot about the vibrations in the actual food as well. And here in Byron Bay, in this area, we're lucky that we've got volcanic soil, and literally anything will grow in this soil. And if you were to, have your own produce, be able to grow your produce or know where it's coming from, it definitely has a higher nutrients content, but also has a higher vibration. So they say that the less that we cook the food, the more nutrition, the more energy it's going to have. But there's also a bit of a combination of what's good for you. And when it comes to doshas, like some of us have too much fire, some of us have a balance of water, etc. And it's just trying to get the balances right. But we're all different, and there's different ways to look at it as well. But really important to know where your food's coming from, knowing that it's fresh, knowing that it's cooked from a point of view of a happy chef, opposed to someone who's talking negatively, and you don't know where that food's coming from. That can really affect your energy level. That can affect how you store energy in your body as well, which you can physically see that at times. And I think if we're able to make that choice of where our food comes from, mindfully connect in and take the time to appreciate that food and be mindful about that. And when you're looking at that apple, or you're looking at a homegrown strawberries or fresh strawberries, and just valuing those strawberries, connecting with them, smelling them, imagining where they were grown in the ground as well. And you just connect back to the cycle of life as well. And it just gives you this euphoric feel, I find. So food is very powerful. I guess in the world, we have so many health problems, and there's so much marketing for medicine and diagnoses, and at that point of just medicating or finding a way to push the prescriptions. But there's another level of looking at what's already there in plants, and plants have been around for forever, and there's so much natural medicines as well that are available, which aren't actually marketed as well. So we get stuck in that world here, and I guess with marketing and media, and just going back and tuning in and going back to some things that our ancestors did before. And here I live on Indigenous land, the Belungalan, the tribe were here, and there's so much native berries, native fruits, things like lily pillies and bush tomatoes and edible seaweed and stuff. So we're forever foraging for that stuff, and it's really high in antioxidants as well. So, and that's not the stuff that you get on the shelves at the market. It's just natural grown stuff. And I highly recommend, if you can, or you live in an area where you can, tap into some native bush foods as well. It's a really good way to boost your immunity.
I love that. Thank you. It's actually something that I've recently also been learning about, like these wild plants that we have, especially if we live close to, and just as you do as well, close to nature. We have the forests all around us here, so it's just going out. There's an abundance, and there's like things that grow that we don't even like realize that this is like so nutritious. We think that we can only eat things that we're buying from stores.
Definitely. Yeah.
And this is like, and these things are wild and like unsprayed. It's like completely organic, like organic, not in the sense that we're thinking organic, but like completely naturally grown exactly where it wants to, in soil that it wants to, without a human having an intention of it. It's its own intention to grow there. So that's just so like amazing, and connecting to that energy of the earth. Like when the earth gives us, it's a gift. And we have to also, like now when I'm using certain, so this week I've been doing nettle tea, and
awesome.
yeah, and I want to also when I use herbs in different remedies for the body, I also want to give that back, so it goes also back to the earth. And we can be so conscious with these things, but we haven't been taught that, especially if we've grown up in like a Western country in urban society. So it's about relearning these things that we know within ourselves.
Definitely, and then having the ability, if we can, if that's our path, to pass that on as well. And I'm lucky here as well. I'm able to tap into the Indigenous culture here and work with them in parts in my work as well. So some of that stuff is passed on. Some of my work also is getting into schools and educating the kids what they're putting in their lunchbox, and going through and making sure that they've got that education at a young age as well, so they're able to really take those choices and have that mindset for themselves, and they can take it back to their parents, and and start to filter that back to their parents as well. What I find is the parents are just not thinking about that and a little bit too busy. But if the children are aware of it as well, and as they get a little bit older, they have that consciousness around food as well. So they're not just getting their box from their parents and this is what I'm eating. They're aware of the natural fruits and vegetables and things that are around them. They're aware of what's in their lunchbox. They're aware of they're aware of that it's going to benefit their health and it's going to give them more energy and things like that. And I think that's the way I look at food. Food is actually helping my intuition. It's freeing up space in my brain because I'm feeding it with really nourishing food, and it's giving me that sense of direction and excitement, I guess, for my path as well. And I really find, like, one word when I said space, it really gave me a lot of excitement and energy and a smile on my face. I think that's one thing that I've really worked on creating, was even in a busy lifestyle, creating space and creating good practices like sitting still, being okay with not having the radio on or TV on, just for the sake of having some noise. So just trying to find spaces in time where I can just connect into my third eye, connect into intuition, connect into other beings as well around the planet, and really align to what I feel my calling is and my purpose. And I feel for me it is to really help others along the way to tap into their potential and their truth, and to heal the trauma that's inside the bodies. I've been doing some work with some ancestors, and in alignment that can go back 7 generations. So we can be walking into a path as a child and be already holding on to that energy. So a lot of work we do as well in our meditation practice is just bringing in the ancestors and, I guess, talking about that stuff and just cutting the cords of time, so our next generation don't need to go through that pain and suffering. And I think 7 generations is such a long time ago. We've forgotten about that, the wars and poverty and recessions and all sorts of different things in the lines of things have just changed so much that we don't need to carry that anymore. We don't need to carry that energy. We can be free. We can be happy, and we can let the ancestors be freed as well.
Yeah, that's powerful and so beautiful to include children in this knowledge and wisdom. And when you're healing the ancestry, you're healing also the future generations, so it doesn't have to be carried along down the line. And yeah, it's really interesting. And also, like you said, like working with, so I don't live, well, each country has their history, and I carry my ancestry, although I live here in Sweden. And I'm thinking about how we can also heal the lands and the energy that has been created when there's been these things where people have suffered, or like with, I'm thinking about the indigenous, and how we can honor that.
Yes. Such a big one. Yes.
And that because in, like, beyond this illusion of separation, we're all that which is that. It's like a one thing. So we're not doing it just for ourselves, because in past lives we could have been any shape or form on this planet. Our soul is not connected to one race or ethnicity, so we also carry that seeds and memories that we carry in the astral plane as well. So it's really interesting. And I would love also for you to share, like, why also you worked with breath work and how you're working with it now in your life.
So breath work, I guess I started yoga back around early 20s, and through the yoga practices, which I've continued on till now. So I'm in my 40s now, and I found that breath work to just be that phenomenal release where I can get to a deeper state of consciousness. And it also, I feel that I'm able to shift things that sometimes I can't shift from just sitting still, from meditating. But for the breath work, I'm able to channel in my intuition, and I feel like I'm able to see things a lot clearer. I can clear my chakras just by going through and literally seeing them visually as well. In my breath work, just with different practices and sharing those practices, I've seen people shift through big traumas in their body as well, and move through, I guess, some really hardships and really hard times that they might be going through in this world and this time as well. So it's quite a big one. We run a little meditation circle here, so in that we'll do our breath work as well weekly, and it's quite incredible for when people walk in that door with their daily worries to the effects that they'll have on them in the 3 days after, the week after, the month after, and the more regularly practice, it's incredible. It's incredible. And that also helps people to free up space to tune into their intuition and connect in to their heart space and purpose as well, so that they can do the work as well.
Yeah, breath work is so powerful, and it really helps us move our energy, chi and prana in our body, and release certain things. And it's also, like, on a physiological level, it does so much. We can detoxify, we can balance the acidity in the body, the oxygen. It's really something that we should practice on a daily basis, or just simply like sitting down and breathing deeply into our belly, like really easy practice. But it's
definitely, it's amazing how shallow we breathe on a day-to-day basis. If there's stress, it's like minimal breathing. And then if you're able to tune into that in practice, and if you have any anxiety, or if you have any stress or worry or fear about something, the more you do breath work, the more you'll be able to shift yourself out of that state. And I have been at times when something has just, maybe been a little bit too much, and literally been able to snap myself out of that just from some breath work and literally realign myself. Such a powerful tool. And I also think right now we're so blessed that meditation is becoming popular. It's become popular. It's been around for years, and mindfulness is a word that people are aware of, and breath work is like almost a trend. I really hope that it does carry on, and that it is spread to our children. And I know from my children, they really love playing with the sound bowls, and just taking some time to practice some gratitude, sharing some gratitude, and just some deep breathing just to calm them down, so that they can, be like good for the next day. Or if they're having a moment of worry or fear, or they can identify their emotions, and then they can talk about that. We can also go for that breathing, and it can be quite simple for a child, like smell the roses, and the breathing in, blow out the candle. And if we start that at a young age, in that awareness of the breath, then they can have that flowing through their life.
Yeah, that's a gift. So beautiful. I have one last question, and it's you tapped into it before about creating flow and synchronicity. What has been your best way to do that?
That's incredible. When I think about this, I think of backpacking through Europe and India, and how things were just aligning every day. There was always someone that was there that would want to go in the direction I wanted to go, whether I wanted to go to South America to do Machu Picchu, or spend some time in Rishikesh in India. I was walking down the street in Rishikesh, and I was looking for a yogi to do my yoga training, yoga at the time, and looked around for a while, and then there he was. Sandeep just popped out in front of me, out of the blue, and it was one of those synchronicities in time that I'll look back at and go, things are really possible if you have that mindset to believe that you can do it. As we get older, I think that I feel that we block that out a little bit, and maybe paying mortgages, working, getting stuck in that society of what we need to do, we kind of tune out to that. So to tune back in to the synchronicities would be to tune into your intuition, and to really create some mindfulness practices like grounding, barefoot, like spending some time out in nature in the sun, like having a walk on the beach, being aware of what's around you and your surrounding, being grateful, practicing some meditation, doing things like gardening, but being mindful of them as well will all help you as well in seeing that, so you have a bit more vision. It's so easy to block that out and not see the signs. So if we're stuck on our phone, on social media, we're all guilty of that at times. We might miss out on some of the things that are actually happening in the outside world or community. But if you really want something and you really want to achieve it, you'll start seeing it. One thing that my mum used to do was number plates. So it's one of these things that I see, and I know I'm in alignment. All of a sudden my initials will pop up in front of me at the most precise time, or there'll be an owl. There's an owl that comes and visits me at my property, and it's been there since I moved in. And I'll see that owl it will literally fly right over my head peacefully, or it will stay there and just be present with me. certain birds in nature. So certain synchronicities that I will see, or all of a sudden a job will come up, and it's in alignment, and that will follow on and on and on and on. So really it comes down to having some awareness and really tuning into exactly what you want. I've been guilty of saying I want certain work as well, because I do the retreats, and all of a sudden I've got all the work at once. So being very clear on what you're putting there out in the universe is a big one for me. And also practicing some self-love. We cannot really help someone else until we've done the work on ourselves, until we've gone inside and literally talked to our inner child and held that inner child and created some space for that inner child to feel loved. And when you feel that love for yourself, then you're able to radiate that into others, and then you're able to see that in others. And people, if you smile, people will smile back because they'll feel that love, and that conversation will just open up like that. The person's already there in front of you, and the universe is continually trying to put things in front of you. One of the things about my partner, Zoe, and she was just, the universe literally just moved her in next door, and the universe just put her in front of me at the time, in that alignment, in that time, and I could have missed that, but I was aware, I was awake, and I had done the work, and I was open to receiving, and I received, and it was such a blessing. So now we do the work together, and that's the full circle of alignment.
It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really divine synchronicity. And yeah, thank you so much. I think when we open up to it, we can start seeing that synchronicity. If we're constantly working from self-love and about living in love, that's when also our heart opens up to receive, and we feel even more grateful. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, that's you're so welcome. Thank you for holding that space.
Yeah, and I would love for you to share if you're offering something special now, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I run a Realign to Your True Purpose coaching program, and you can find me on Instagram under BEE Nourished Byron Bay, one word, or on Facebook. And in there as well, I have a help group. If you click on and follow the links in my link tree, and we do meditations in our meditation circle. We do them online as well. They're two offerings that we can offer globally as well, unless you're in the region of Australia, where we do retreats as well. But the Realign to Your True Purpose is really setting you up and listening to your intuition, really listening and tuning in to what it is that you really, really are called to do. What is your purpose? What is your passion? And then working on a manuscript for your life. Those little, I guess, like training wheels to get you back on path. Because I truly believe in everyone, and everyone that I've worked with, I've watched them flourish and make big change. And it just, sometimes it's having someone that believes in you, and someone that really, really has, I guess, got your true intentions for you as well to succeed. And I feel like part of my work really is watching other people flourish in life, and I just feel powerful about that. I feel that is my alignment. That is my purpose. Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And your links will be available in the show notes so everyone can connect with you. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to share your path and all these beautiful insights with everyone.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm feeling very, very blessed on the other side of the world and feeling connected in your lounge room at the same time.
Yeah, thank
Blessings
you.
and
Blessings.
yeah, hand on the heart. Namaste.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this episode inspired you as much as this conversation inspired me. I'm really grateful for Daniel, who took his time to share. So if you want to check out his work, you can find him on Instagram, and you have both his links in the show notes here. And if you're interested in my 4-week online beginners yoga course, you can click the link to my website in the show notes as well. And as you know, my book is about to be released in June, and it's available to pre-order now. And I've been doing oracle card readings for everyone who's pre-ordering, just as a thank you and an act of gratitude for supporting my work and helping me to share this path with everyone. So if you do enjoy my podcasts and what I do on Instagram, I think the book will help you dive even deeper into that work. So check it out, The Law of Positivism. And let's take a deep inhalation in through the nose. Inhale all the way down to your belly. And exhale out and release. Om.